Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Get Your Act Together with Mike Bain. How you doing? Oh shit, man. How you doing? Welcome back, baby. I know it's been some time. I know you're sitting there and my podcast has popped up on your phone if you subscribe and you go, who is this, huh? Oh, fuck you, Mike. Are you kidding me? You just start and your alarm goes off? Isn't it a beautiful thing when you wake up so much earlier than your alarm, right? Like you set an alarm because you're afraid you're going to sleep late. And then you have a weird dream where you walk up to a pickup truck and throw hot coffee in a guy's face and he gets out to fight you. And you wake up before he can fight you. Oh! My brain, it's so fucking, my brain is like a social media troll. All right, even when I'm about to have a fight, because I was having a dream and I throw coffee in this guy's face because he was being a fucking prick, okay, and he deserved it. Fuck, he just goes to get out of his pickup truck, and I was like, fuck. All right, even in real life, this guy could probably kick my ass, but in this dream, I know I'm going to have like a dream fight where I'm swinging my arms around like cement and he's definitely going to kick my ass. And my brain just knew to be like, wake up. This way I woke up and I won, right? Like the dream ended with me throwing coffee in his face and I get a nice little victory. Anyway. Back to what I was saying. I know you're thinking, who is this guy hitting me up? Who is this booty call? You know when you haven't talked with someone for a couple months and they come back at you and you go, where the fuck have you been? It's been a little bit, man. It has. I thought I was going to do two different podcasts. I was going to do one and have fun, like back to what I was doing. And then I was going to just have one where I recount what happened. But the reality is that I went through the most difficult, man, was it 5-6 weeks? Dude, I kind of felt like I was in a wormhole there for a minute. But I went through the most difficult period of my life, most difficult month of my life, most difficult fucking week of my life, most difficult day of my life. It was, without a doubt, the most difficult, one of the most difficult experiences I have ever had. I have ever had to deal with to date. And I was trying to figure out how I'm going to talk about it because though there is humor in it to me, it is dark. It is dark, and I've tried talking about it with other people, and my ability to handle the darkness in life and to find humor in it is why I became a comedian, but it's also very different than how other people operate. So I was going to do like hey, this is what I've been dealing with. And I was like, all right, I'm not going to do that, Mike, because it's going to come off so fucking mopey. And I don't want to do that. But I do want you guys to know, like, what the fuck happened, Mike? All right, I came back from going into Puerto Rico, you dumb. Jeez, my brain is fried. I came back from Colombia. Oh, what, all Latinos are the same, Mike? Huh? Puerto Ricans and Colombians? No, they're not. Because Puerto Ricans speak garbage Spanish and Colombians speak perfect Spanish. I do love Puerto Rico, though. Anyway, I came back from Colombia. I went to Arizona. I came back. I kind of understand female postpartum depression. I understand how after you have babies, you get depressed because I get that after vacations. I came back and for 2 weeks, I was like, oh, fuck. Like, oh, God, I was happy. I was, not that I don't have happiness in my regular life. I'm not sitting around putting a gun in my mouth. But it was like, I saw the world a new way, man. And then I came back and I was just like, oh, it's my life. You know, you come back and I couldn't even figure out where I had left a bag with my clean underwear and I couldn't find it for fucking days. And so I had a couple weeks of that, and then shit with my family really hit the fan. If you listen to this podcast, if you listen to me, you know that my dad is an abusive alcoholic, and I don't want to do this. My dad was mean to me thing. No, okay, was it? Yes, but it's not the fucking point. And he has been when you drink every fucking day, when you're an alcoholic and you don't take care of yourself, you die. It reminds me of, there's a scene in, what is that movie? Blazing Saddles, the greatest comedies ever. Gene Wilder, his character, is let out of jail by the black sheriff, and whose name I can't remember. Excuse me. And Gene Wilder's character just slugs back a bottle of like whiskey and liquor of some kind, and the black sheriff, I can't remember that actor's name. That's really all he did. He says to Gene Wilder, he goes, "A man drink like that and don't eat, he's bound to die." And yeah, that's my dad. And well, he does eat, except he fucking bastard's eating. All he does is eat and drink. And I knew this time was coming, and what sucks about addiction, is that if you listen to this, you I'm sure you have friends or family. We all deal with this, and this is something that why I'm very open about it, and my family isn't. Is that addiction's a slow fucking death, especially with liquor. And I came back to Boston and I was at my parents' house. I only just started going back and talking to my dad. This year, I decided I'm going to put things at rest and have a somewhat form of relationship with him. Okay, and I realized how bad things had gotten. He almost died this summer due to a massive brain bleed. He has had a multitude of head injuries because he keeps fucking falling down and hitting his fucking melon head. And then he goes to the hospital, and they're like, "Hey, let's take care of you and do physical therapy." And he goes, "No." He comes home, and I realized how bad his situation had deteriorated, physically and mentally. He deteriorated quite a bit. And it seemed a lot worse when I first got back because, well, in a way he was somewhat embellishing it, but in a way he wasn't. And, when you're an addict, and I everything I say, I don't say from play. Fuck you, Mike, you are judging to it. Yeah, fuck you, I am. But also, I've had my own issues with alcohol. There's a reason I fucking don't drink. So I get it. I'm not this complete outsider looking in. I'm a dude who understands exactly why he does it, why addiction happens, and why people drink. And it was bad. And I had realized that my mother had been reduced to a nurse, a fucking servant, a slave. Her quality of life had degraded to a point that I couldn't quite imagine, where she was waiting on my father hand and foot, and he couldn't be left alone, for more than 5 minutes without screaming her name at the top of his fucking, "I need apple juice." And then eventually I realized this cocksucker's walking by the fridge. He would get drunk and then need someone to walk him up the stairs, the second floor. And then I was like, all right, let me clear out the first floor. And, because not only did I realize my dad is about to shit the bucket, but the hoarding situation in my house has reached epic fucking proportions. And I have to clean out a house that has become completely hoarded. And that was a lot. Also, that's why you're like, oh man, well, I've been gone because I was trying to de-hoard a home, and I also realized that the house I grew up in is disintegrating. No one takes care of anything because my dad is hell-bent on being drunk whenever he can be, and dying, and my mom, for whatever reason, just can't or doesn't. I don't know. I had that experience where I realized that I'm the fucking adult in the situation. I have to be a parent to my parents, and I have to fix their shit. And fucking, it's such a weird thing when you get to be an adult and you look at your parents and you realize how old they were when they had you, and things you kind of held against them for how they fucked up raising you. And then you go, oh, I thought you had it figured out. Because as a child, you are this pathetic, infantile thing. And you look at your parents and your aunts and uncles almost as godlike creatures, because you don't know how to figure out this world. Yet here are these massive life forms that are, 8 times bigger than you are, 10 times bigger than you are. And they know how to manipulate the world. And it seems like almost like maybe how the Spanish appeared when they first showed up on the shores of the Americas. And then you become an adult and you look at your parents and you go, oh, you don't know fucking shit about shit. What the fuck? Because the house is disintegrating, and I've realized in reality my father hasn't taken care of it in forever. Not really that much when I even lived there. And I realized that there are 2 options. Either my dad just fucking randomly dies, or he has to go into a nursing home. And this is something I actually really want to share with you, because fucking Christ, man, if you have boomer parents like me who don't take care of themselves, who eat toxic food, because I come home, it's like a fucking frat house. Man, the sinks are broken, the showers are broken, the toilets are broken, and I'm like, Ma, the toilet doesn't flush. She goes, you gotta put water, you fill up a bucket in the shower and then put the water in the top and then it'll flush. And I go, what the fuck? No, you are not living like this. And I come in the kitchen and she's like, you want some supper? And I go, what do you got, Ma? And she goes, fucking hot dogs. And I go, hot dogs and what? And she goes, hot dogs. And I go, like, you putting them in bread? He goes, no, just eating boiled hot dogs out of a fucking pot. And I go, what the fuck? Why does our house look like it is filled? Why does our house literally look like a frat? Like the walls are peeling. People are eating boiled hot dogs and the fucking toilet's broken. And I realized that the current situation won't last, and he may not need to go into a place. And apparently, as I found out, nursing homes, because he's beginning to get wet brain. Well, he has wet brain, but the beginnings of wet brain dementia. Where nursing homes are $12 to $15,000 a month. And what I have realized is that the American dream, most medical expenses in America, they come from the end of life of people. The greatest generation, the boomers, all these people, the American dream, what you don't realize is these people work their whole fucking lives only to, in the last decade or less, lose everything they worked for to nursing homes. Lose everything because eventually, obviously, you can't pay them, and so they take your savings, they take your 401k, they take everything. They can take your fucking home. They take everything. Everything! Okay? And so I had to realize that, as I've said, I'm the parent, no one is doing anything. I had to meet with a lawyer several times to figure out how to protect my mother and what to do to make sure that she doesn't lose anything. Because I'm like, Jesus, you guys picked a real fucking shitty time to do this, because I lost both my jobs this year. Christ. And so, I don't know why this is so funny, but it is funny to me. It reminds me of that scene in Young Frankenstein where something bad happened in another Mel Brooks movie. Hey, 2-in-1 podcast, and Gene Wilder is leaving the castle. And his Igor, his assistant, goes, he goes, at least it's not raining. And then you hear this crack of thunder and he starts pouring on him. Excuse me. And anyway, this is something to be fucking aware of. Please take this information if you have someone in your life who is a boomer, or, because I feel the older generation of Americans, my parents are 64, both of them. They're not that old. You're not supposed to be crippled by the time you hit 60. Americans, like, this is supposed to be the land of splendor and the American dream, and yet I'm looking at a country filled with people who poison themselves with Oxycontin and heroin and alcohol and fast food and boiled fucking hot dogs and every conceivable, like the food in our Twinkies, food in our America is poison. Like, in a country where everyone is supposed to be happy and the greatest in the world, why is everyone poisoning themselves with food and cigarettes and alcohol and hard drugs that degrade your mind and body? I know so many people who they're watching their parents balloon and just fall apart. And in my culture, in working class Irish people, especially Bostonians, every dude retires and then drinks himself to death. Like, this is why I do what I do, man, because I don't want to be like every guy I've watched, which is to get a nice government job, a union job that's supposed to fulfill them, and they work and they drink and they work and they drink and they hold off the fucking crushing anxiety and depression, and then they retire, and their whole life was a job that they fucking hated the whole time. And I mean hated. And bam, you fucking drink yourself to death. And I don't fucking want that for me, and I hope none of you guys want that for yourselves. So for the love of God, take care of yourself, mentally and physically. Go to therapy. Don't fucking drink yourself into a grave. If you want to have a few cocktails, do it. But you don't... You should not be drinking like you were when you were 18 your whole fucking life. Okay? Okay. You don't need to binge drink every fucking weekend. Alright? You shouldn't still be blacking out in your 30s. Get it together. I'm sorry. Save it for a fucking bachelor party. Especially if you got people who love you and depend on you. Alright, might get off your high horse. Anyway, I've realized that people work their whole lives, and then, the house always wins, man. It really is like a casino where you play the game and you're sitting there and you win a little. You're winning at blackjack and you think, hey, man, I won. And then, they keep feeding you drinks and you start getting drunk and you make, it's a bad hand. And before you know it, you've given everything back to the casino and then all your money and your savings. And that's what America largely is. And because in our country, we don't eat natural food. We fill our bodies with poisons and toxins. And, I believe it's called it's not platelets, Michael. I wish I could remember this. I should have looked this up before I started the podcast. But plastics get in our bodies and they degrade us and fuck with our hormone levels. Please do your research on this, because clearly I haven't. I have, but fucking God, I wish I could remember what they're called. You have a computer in front of you, Mike. I just didn't want to. It's not platelets, you dumb bastard. Yeah, whatever. Don't fucking just... Look, I after dealing everything with my parents, I just went to an organic health food store and I bought non-aluminum deodorant, which is very rough. Like I'm gonna be honest, it doesn't quite glide on there and jam, but it also doesn't jam my pores with a metal. I bought non-fluoride toothpaste. I got a filter that gets rid of fluoride in my water. You guys can get a reverse osmosis filter. I have one that's just like a Brita. I got non-fluoride and non-alcohol mouthwash, and it's actually great, man. I like the way it makes my mouth feel. It feels great, and I got some soap, I don't know what natural soap, because so much of the stuff we put on our bodies and our bodies absorb is bullshit. And watching my parents be in very poor health fucked me up. And I've realized I don't want that for me and my future family if I have one. So to get back on track, for the love of God, plan ahead, because I can't just take my parents' house and put it in my name. Apparently, there's what's called a 5-year look back, where nursing homes can just be like, hey, you transferred this home into your son's or your brother's name in under 5 years. You were trying to get us. Yeah. You sneaky bastards. You were trying to get us, so you can't do that. So if they transfer the house and my dad ends up in a home in under 5 years, it doesn't count. And they're actually trying to extend this law to 7 years. Fucking bastards. And so what I meant by the house always wins is you work your whole life for this American dream, and you're drinking heavy metals in your tap water and fluoride in it. You are eating food that is filled with toxins and isn't real food, and then you're using household cleaning products that are toxic to your body and your kid's body, and you're using these plastics, and everything in your society is in reality poisoning you, and in order to deal with your mental health, you self-medicate, and then they take it all back, man. The house always wins, and everything you worked for in your life goes away. And so there's no way I can fully protect my family. I partially protected them to the best of my abilities, but I had a full-blown panic attack when this all happened, because I was like, what am I going to do? My family's going to lose everything, and I can't fucking do anything about it. And eventually I realized, it's material shit, Mike. Does it suck if my family lose their home? Yeah, it fucking does. It fucking does, but I'll fucking live. We'll survive. We'll move on. Anyway, so I realized the house is disintegrating. That's a project I have to do. The plumbing is fucked up. Thankfully, my brother fixed that. The hoarding is horrific. No one is there's fucking ants and there's mice, and it's just it was not fun. And I'm not doing this to rub anything into my parents by any means. I love them, but I got angry. I got quite angry, and my dad was driving when he shouldn't have been, and then he was driving home from the bar drunk, and he already, even sober, can barely fucking drive, and I had to take his keys away, and that was a huge thing. And I didn't finish de-hoarding the house. I threw out about 100 bags of stuff, and I'm still nowhere close to it, because it was bad. And I realized that I have a problem where I have a hero complex, because I want to save my fucking family, man. I do. I want to save my fucking family. I want to save my fucking parents. But you can't save people you love if they don't want to be fucking saved. And I know I can say that very easily, but when you first come across this, because I've been dealing with this for years, it's not easy. It's why people have a hard time dealing with addiction in their family, because you can't fucking save people when they don't want to be saved. And it sucks, because you think, is my love not enough to save you? Is what you're doing and how it harms me enough? Can you not? You internalize it. You make it about you. You think, why the fuck? Come on, man. Like, I originally just stopped talking to my dad because I figured he always told me, I love you more than anything, Mike. And I was like, well, if I don't talk to him, then he'll stop drinking. And then he kept fucking drinking. I was like, it's me and the booze. And he was like, I'm fucking taking the booze. And I was like, fuck. I didn't see that one coming. Anyway, I say all this because I hope that I can help other people. Because I went to a dark place, man. I got depressed. I put everything in my life on hold because I was like, I have to fix this. I have to I'm trying to walk this line where I'm not trying to be the hero, because I've learned my lesson with that in relationships with my family and with women I date. But my biggest gripe with my father is he was a derelict father. He abandoned his post as a man, and he left his family to rot. He left his home to rot. He left his wife to rot. He dumped his fucking problems on his children and his family. And I have promised myself I will never be that man. I will never abandon my post as a husband, as a father, as a friend, as a brother, as a son, as a man. I will not abandon the people I love and subject them to my own failures or misfortunes or whatever it may be, my mental or physical degradations. I won't do that. And so I said, I'm the man of my fucking family. I'm the man of my house. So step the fuck up and do it. And I did, and I eventually realized I'm doing too much because, it doesn't quite work when people don't work with you. And at a certain point, a few weeks ago, my dad tried to kill himself. And, I was there when he took a bottle of pills, and then I left. And I was filled with rage, and I honestly, part of me was like, I'm fucking done with you. I don't care. And then I spoke with my friend Steve, who basically gave me the greatest therapy session I've ever had. And he helped me humanize my father. And he saw the anger within me. And when life was a monster to me, I told myself the only way I can get out of this is if I become a monster. He was screaming at me to fucking kill him and give him a bottle of sleeping pills. And I almost fucking did, but I didn't find the pills. And he ended up finding a bottle of pills on his own. And I regret even telling him, because he had been telling us, I'm going to fucking hang myself and cut my wrist and shoot myself. And he's not going to do that. Fat bastard couldn't fucking hang himself if he wanted to. There's also no rope in the fucking house. And he's doing it for attention. He is mentally behaving like a 14-year-old emo girl. He is mentally regressed in a way to the emotional stability of a child. And, I was like, you don't have to fucking do it the long way, man. And I regret saying that. It is, because if he fucking did it, and I had that on my conscience, it would fuck me up for the rest of my life. But in my anger, from the years of what I've been putting up with, for watching what the state of everything I've been in has become, I fucking did it. I said those fucking words. And I came back a couple of days later and I found my dad. He'd taken like 30 painkillers and he didn't die, but he wasn't in fucking good shape. And, worst day of my fucking life. Because, I have a conscience. And, the idea of fucking my dad, as much as who I have disagreements with and who has put me through hell, he is my father and I love him. And, finding him like that was a motherfucker. I won't go into details, too many, but, there were bodily fluids everywhere. The smell was horrific, and I humbled myself, and I cleaned him, and I cleaned the house, the room that he had been in, and I had a talk with him that I needed to have, where he wasn't fucked up because he didn't have anyone, couldn't get out of the house, couldn't even walk. I carried my fucking father to the toilet. I had a talk, and we spoke as men, and I needed that so that if anything happens to him, my soul is at peace. And I cleansed myself because my friend Steve explained, what does your dad say when he's drunk? And I said, he's always saying, fucking help me, I'm afraid, I'm scared. And he goes, do you think he's not scared? I go, yeah. He goes, do you think he doesn't have regrets, Michael, for the life he's lived and what he's done to you and your brother and your mother? And I go, yeah, I know he does. That's why he drinks, because whenever you stop using as an addict, that's when that's when the anxiety and the depression of who you are and what terrible things you've done to people around you comes to you. And you can't live with it. So you start using again. That's worse than any physical addiction, is when your mind comes back and you realize what you fucking done. That's why you keep binging. Because you wake up and you see your girlfriend crying and you go, I'm a fucking piece of garbage. I'm a fucking drink, because now I know when I'm sober, I know only way you fix that is with self-love and self-care, and realizing if you think you're a piece of garbage, you will act like a piece of garbage. So stop thinking that way. Think I'm a good person, and you will hold yourself to behave as a good person. And he goes, Mike, the only way you're getting out of this is if you love him and you forgive him. And he goes, you have to love your way out of this. And he was right. He was right, man. I finally, I've been trying to cry for weeks and years of me pushing things down inside. I don't cry very easily. And I'm okay with crying as a man. I think it's good to cry as a man. I wish I could sometimes. But it came out. It fucking did. I had a fucking, the day he tried to do it, and then the day I found him, I had a couple good breakdowns. And I came out the other side of it. And let me just say that the reason I'm okay right now and I'm functioning and I seem very lucid, because it's been a couple weeks since then, and I've just been waiting to get my mind right. And my friend's like, it seems like you're all together. And I go, well, that's because I put in the work. The reason what I've been through the past month didn't completely fucking wreck me as a man is because I've been to therapy. I've got sober. I learned to not do all the terrible things that I would do when I was faced with tremendous pressure and anxiety and stress. And that's why you got to do the work when you're not. The time to figure out how to fix a panic attack isn't in the panic attack. It's before the panic attack. Well, Mike, you said more than you were going to say. Anyway, I'm very open about this because I finally got my mother's family and friends involved. And my mother's best friend, who she has known, grew up across the street from her. She has known since she was a little girl. She is her best friend in the world. My mother has never discussed my father's drinking with her, ever. And I confronted her and she said, do you ever think I was ashamed? My mother lives under and I love her with all my heart, but she lives under an umbrella of shame, the likes of which you could never possibly imagine. Even like after my dad had tried to kill himself. And I'm like, Ma, let's see how it goes, but, because I may need to bring him to the hospital. I may need to fucking section him. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm trying to, I'm trying to save my fucking family, and it's not going well. I'm working hard. I'm doing the best I can. And I go, hey, I may need to call an ambulance. If he doesn't improve, I will have to call an ambulance. I don't want to bring him to the hospital because it never works out. Within a day, he demands to leave, and then the insurance says we're not going to cover it. And, he's out. And she goes, all right, but because I go, look, I can't carry him down the stairs. He's too fat. She goes, she goes, okay, but if we call an ambulance, you don't tell anyone. She continued that. Who have you told about your dad? Huh? Who have you told? Who have you? You don't. And I go, Ma, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't tell anyone. She goes, well, that woman, across the street, she'll call. She's an ambulance to see if we're okay. And and I go, are you fucking kidding me? You just found your husband. Your son just found your husband after he tried to take his life. We mopped up piss and shit and puke and fucking blood. I just had the lowest of my low in my entire life. And you're afraid of what the neighbors think. The Irish whisper, don't let the neighbors find out. We're from Southie. Everyone in our neighborhood has a junkie or an addict or an alcoholic or abuse in their fucking family. And for that matter, almost everyone does. Even the rich people that we used to, the yuppies and shit, that we used to think could shit fucking gold. It's in their families too. They just have the money to send their kid to a fancy place out in Arizona, Wisconsin, or for rehab. But everyone's fucked up. No one's normal. We're all fucked up. And I go, after everything we have been through, and there have been other events that transpired. I'm not going to go into every detail. I wasn't even going to tell you about him trying to take his own life. I guess I just spilled the beans. But I go, after all this, every fucking thing we've been through, you're still afraid of what people think? And she kind of got angry. She's like, what are you fucking... And for the record, my mother has made tremendous progress. I get upset because my father's emotionally abused my mother to the point where she has almost caved in as a human being. She used to be the most talkative, boisterous woman you'd ever meet in your life. She would talk to someone at the bus stop. She would talk to someone on the train. She would ask you your life story and tell you hers to a complete stranger. And I used to ridicule her for it. Only because my... God, I hope you guys didn't hear that. Because Mike, this mic isn't dynamic. Only because my father ridiculed her for it. And now she doesn't talk to anyone. She doesn't say boo to her family and friends. And I made sure to get people involved to get over this cultural thing. Because I'm breaking a cultural taboo from where I come from, which is you do not discuss family matters with outsiders or anyone. You shut up and you let it happen. And I'm not that fucking man. I don't let shit fucking just fall apart. I don't sit there and watch the walls crumble. Okay? The empire won't fall on my watch. And if it does, I will go down fucking fighting. I will build that sandcastle as the waves come in, and you can all laugh at me, but I won't fucking stop fighting. No matter what. And the idea of giving a fuck what another human being thinks about you, it is such a putrid mentality. We're all gonna fucking die. Are we gonna go to our deathbeds worried about what another man thinks of you? Or are you going to live your life? You know, I had issues with my own mom because when my brother and I first stopped talking with my father, she made us feel like absolute shit. Because, I used to spend the holidays alone sometimes. I hated them. Every June I got anxiety because it was Father's Day and my dad's birthday. And as soon as Halloween was over, I used to get filled with anxiety about Thanksgiving and Christmas because I knew my mother was going to be like, what are you doing? And I go, not coming home. And then she would say, your cousins are asking for you, and make me feel like fucking shit. And I'd be like, you know why I'm not there. He's there. I can't do it. And I was the bad guy because I drew attention to it. And she's finally woken up. Is it late? Yeah, it is, but my thing is, I don't care how late it is. If you ask me for help, I'll fucking be there. I can say, if you need help, call me. If you need help, call me. If you need help, call me. And no one can call me for forever. But if you do, and I've said it, I'm gonna grab your fucking hand, man. And I will help you. And, anyway. You got fucking off topic. Where was I going to go, Michael? Well, how do you wrap this up? Anyway, I'm doing much better. Jesus. Fuck. God damn it, Mike. This was supposed to be lighthearted. You weren't supposed to go into everything. You motherfucker, you. God damn it. All right, I guess we are doing 2 podcasts, you shithead. Yeah, don't say that, Mike. Subconsciously, you're putting yourself down. I hope. Look, if anyone else out there is dealing with addiction, yourself or in your family, do not be ashamed. Don't. You're not alone. You're not alone, man. And for the love of God, if you're worried about what people think about you, you can't improve yourself. Just accept you and your family for all your fucking flaws. And this is something I learned in therapy, and this is something my friend said to me whenever I would say, I'm not supposed to be, doing this. I'm not supposed to be doing that. I'm not supposed to be taking care of my family like this. My dad is supposed to be a decent dad. And it's like, well, this isn't the life I wanted. And my friend said, as my therapist said, my friend said, but it is your life. It is your life, Mike, and you live in it. And whatever you're going through in the moment, this idea, everyone is filled with regrets, and we tell ourselves, I talk with so many people who see themselves as failures. And these are people who to me are successful people. I was talking to a friend who was like, I feel like I'm a failure. And I go, you got a good job? You're a good person? I think you're great. People love you. But in our society that we live in, we're taught that if we're not living in a fucking mansion in Beverly Hills, we're all failures. And that's not true. They build up an idea of happiness that isn't real in our zeitgeist, in our culture, in our Americana, because we all sit around watching those shows about celebrities and rock stars who made it. How many times you watched a 30 for 30 about some athlete you thought had it all fucking figured out? Well, his life's perfect. And then he's like, man, I lost all my millions, and I was on the side of the road sucking off a transgender hooker fucking with a heroin needle in my arm. And you go, whoa. Why do Anthony Bourdain and Robin Williams still kill themselves? They were rich, they had fame, man. Because it ain't what you think it is. Because if they tell you that this is what happiness is, and it's not. Happiness isn't that fucking just big fan. Happiness is love. Happiness, I'm going to get fucking super fucking corny on you. It's family and friends, and it's tribe. And it is people who love you. Because I had one of the best days ever on Sunday, and it wasn't... I didn't go out and fucking drink like crazy and bang whores and do coke and Molly. It was a calming day. I went over my aunt and uncle's, and my uncle has a stroke, so he can't do anything, and my aunt is older. She's like 65, and she's trying to shovel a giant mound of dirt and mulch that's just been delivered. And I get the fuck out of here. She wouldn't let me help her, and I picked up the shovel, and I just shoveled, man. And I shoveled and wheelbarrow after wheelbarrow. And I felt good. Because I don't mind hard work if it's for someone I care about or a purpose. Working hard for pennies for some shitbag company. Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit, man. But break your back for someone you care about. You'll find a sense of purpose. And I felt good. And I went over to my cousin's house and spent time with her 2 kids. And I played catch with her son for well over an hour. Just throwing a football. And I went home, and I felt great. I felt fucking great, man. And it didn't cost me a dime to feel good about myself. And we built a society where we tell you if you don't spend money, you won't feel good, because it keeps you working. It keeps you in that cog. It keeps the fucking economy running, man. I'm gonna work that jet ski ain't gonna make you happy, dude. I'm just saying, if you're happy already and you want a jet ski, go for it, dude. But it ain't gonna cure your ills. All the money in the world ain't gonna fucking make you happy. It isn't. All that fame ain't gonna make you happy. It isn't. All right? Jesus Christ, every other day there's like a YouTuber who comes out who has been fucking diddling kids, man. And what am I trying to say here? I guess what I'm trying to say is my biggest thing in my life is that I don't end up like my parents. Especially my father more than anything. My mom has room for redemption, and she can, and I believe she will. Certainly after, unfortunately, as much as it hurts me to say this, my father dies. She will escape his yoke of despair. Mike, you made it fucking... You made it awkward. But Here's what I'll tell you, because I want to impart, because you guys are going to go through some shit. Maybe you won't go through what I went through, but you're going to go through some fucking shit in life. When things were bad, man, and I was on the verge of, I was like, I'm done with comedy. I'm done with my podcast. I'm done with being creative. I'm just done. I'm done with life. I actually, I said to myself, who the fuck were you, Mike? Who were you to ever think you were above being anything but nothing? And I stood there and I looked in my house as I stood in my old bedroom, and the ceiling is caving in, and things have been hoarded to the top of the ceiling, and it's fucking gross. And my dad is downstairs wailing in pain and screaming and drunk. And I think, who were you to ever think that you could be above this? That you could have a decent life, or be happy, or be successful? Who the fuck were you when you come from this? When this is what built you and made you? Who do you think you were? And I entertained that dark part of my mind. I did. I really did. And at no point did I want to hurt myself or drink again. I'm thankfully very much beyond any of those points. Younger me would have wanted to do both, but I didn't. One thing I did do is I backtracked with my anger. It's okay to fall down mentally as long as you get back up. I'll fall down physically. I started eating bad again. I started getting angry again. I promised myself I would never be an angry man again. And I started to. I fell back. I fell into my own ways. And the way I fixed myself, the way I promised myself that I would love my way out of this, is because if I don't, I become my dad. If I become filled with anger and rage, I become him. My dad's biggest fear was to lose his mind mentally and end up in a home, which is going to happen to him. He made it happen. He promised me. He made me promise as a kid that I would kill him. As a little boy. Fucking sort of sick fuck. I remember being 13, and he goes, Mike, he comes home drunk, and he made me swear. He goes, if I ever get, dementia or Alzheimer's, you bring me out in the woods to hunt, and you shoot me in the fucking head. And I go, Dad, I don't want to. And he goes, promise. And I go, no. And he goes, promise. And I go, okay. And he goes, I go, Dad, what if I miss? And he goes, don't miss. But I'm like, what if I fucking miss? What if I miss and I shoot you in the jaw, and now I got like an Alzheimer dad, and I gotta fucking feed you with a spoon? And he's like, all right. One day he came home and he goes, Mike, I figured it out. You're gonna throw me off the side of a boat. I spoke with a state trooper. That's how you get rid of a body. All the things at the bottom of the ocean. There's no herbivores in the ocean. There's plankton. Everything else is a scavenger, or omnivore, or carnivorous. And so he goes, throw me off a boat. And I'm like, I'm not fucking throwing you off a boat. He goes, promise me you throw me off a boat. I go, okay. And then I realized, as my dad was putting this in my hands, asking me for pills, I realized he's dumping his responsibility of his death in my hands so that it's not on him. And he doesn't get to do that. Under a lot of circumstances, I would have broke. And what I want to say is this, because I just did exactly what I didn't want to fucking do, which is I'm going to have to do 2 different podcasts, because I'm not going to delete this one. Shit. I did exactly what I didn't want to do, you son of a bitch, man. But fuck it, Mike. This podcast is about being funny and helping people. And you guys are going to go through shit in life, and I think I can help you after I've been through this. And I'm not through it. I just got to a point where I did some stuff with a lawyer to the best of my ability, and I made myself my father's power of attorney and my mother's healthcare proxy, and I got a do not resuscitate order put in place for him. And I got my mother's family involved, and I got my dad to stop driving, so I did accomplish something. And that mindset I was in of thinking, who were you to ever think you can get out of this? I got out of that. Because I was like, dude, just go fucking, go apply for a fucking job at McDonald's, Michael, and just fucking live your pathetic life. Because that's all you're ever going to get. And that voice came back in my head, man. And thankfully, after some fucking fighting, I fucking gave him a fucking kick right in the teeth. I gave him a nice fucking Timberland boot stomp right in the face on that part of my mind. because that's what I used to be when I was a young man. That's how I saw the world. That's how I saw myself. And, if I think that way, I will be that way. So, here's what I did when things were really dark, and I'm trying to fix the house and nothing's going right, and my world just seems terrifying and terrible. I would, wake up and I would take my fist and I would hit my chest and I would say, "This too shall pass. This too shall pass. This too shall pass." And it will. Whatever darkness you're going through, man, it will pass. You will come out the other side. And in the moment, I told myself, Mike, when you come out this other side, you're going to be a changed man and you're going to be stronger. And I am. I'm both. I am a changed man. This has absolutely altered who I am as a person. I'm still me, but things have changed in me. I think changed for the better. And I'm stronger. And this is a long-winded fucking way, Michael, to say thank you for listening. If you are still here, thank you for having still listened to my podcast. I have interviews. I finally edited. I know if you've been listening, you've probably heard the one with Corey. I finally finished editing the video. Because I had to put everything in hold to focus on this, and I realized that I have to live my own life, and it's okay to be selfish and put yourself first, because if you don't, no one else will. And when the people around you know that what they're doing will negatively affect you, and they still do it anyway, that's even more of a reason to put yourself first. And it doesn't mean to just throw them away. I'm still here. I'm still helping out. I'm putting my mental health, my physical health, and my career where it needs to fucking be. Okay? And I'm not cleaning up entirely other people's messes. Okay? Because addiction is selfish. It is pure, unadulterated selfishness. And if you're dealing with an addict, they will always subject you to their bullshit. And they will tell themselves that they are the victim. And so I am interviewing a couple people this week. I'm very excited for them. A friend of mine in radio, Ashley Feldman, who has a Jammin' 94.5 morning show. My friend Frankie, who is the bassist for a hardcore band called Death Before Dishonor. They both got some great stories to tell. I'm releasing, I did a podcast with Jamie Lee. Jamie Lee's a comedian, and she's an OnlyFans girl. I already recorded that one. Very fun, very interesting. That one was recorded before all this shit happened, when it was just starting to happen. So I may seem a little off in that one. Mentally, I wasn't prepared to be fully creative. But anyway, I'm back. The show's fucking back. I'm performing stand-up again. I get some, I'm excited. I'm opening for Shane Gillis in a month or two. I'm back, motherfucker. And don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years. Rocking my peers and putting suckers in fear. Making it rain down like a monsoon. And it's still all good. I think that's how it goes. I haven't listened to LL Cool J in a while, baby. But anyway, man, I'm trying to put this in a way where I can help you guys. Whatever you have to deal with in life, I promise you can overcome it. And if you're in a fucking shit situation, you're not alone. You're not alone. And don't fucking feel ashamed. Don't shove it inside. Don't let people in your life tell you have to shut the fuck up about it. Because, when I went to my mom's family, they said, "Mike, we didn't know." And I told them everything. I told them the abuses we put up with for years, and they were aghast. And they're like, "Look, we all knew, but we didn't know it was this bad." And I go, and everyone said the same thing, Mike, "Why didn't you tell us?" And I go, because I couldn't. Because I was raised not to. I was raised to shut the fuck up. And to pretend it wasn't there. And I've already conquered that. I've conquered that. The best thing we can do is to improve on the things that our forefathers did right, and fix the things they did wrong. And all right, this is a funny story. I find this fucking funny. So at the start of all the bullshit I was going through, I helped my dad up the stairs. And by this point, I haven't realized that my dad can somewhat move the stairs, but when he's drunk, like many addicts, he wants sympathy and wants to see him to be seen as a victim. And I realized that a lot of times he needed help and was calling for help. He fucking didn't. Like he didn't need someone to bring him to the fucking bathroom. He could have walked on his own. He didn't need someone to get apple juice. He could have fucking got apple juice himself. Anyway, early on, I didn't realize that. Is why. And, my mom isn't home. And my mom is afraid to leave the house because she's afraid to leave him home alone. And I've gotten her to be able to do that. And he comes home drunk from the bar, driving. I had to fix him the way he parked because he didn't fucking even parallel park proper. I go upstairs. I have to help him, like push him up the fucking stairs because for a guy who wants to die, he doesn't actually want to die. That's addiction. Addiction is, I kind of want to die, but I'm too much of a pussy and I don't really want to do it. That is addiction. That's how I used to drink. The hope is one day you just go out drinking and you don't wake up. And somehow taking your life wasn't in your hands. Someone else did. And I push him upstairs. I have to change him. Like, I change his clothes because I'm in too much pain. His back's fucked up. His hips are fucked up. I do. And he's like, Mike, you don't love me. You don't care about me. And I'm like, I'm fucking looking at your balls, old man. Fuck you. I don't love you. You fucking cunt. I don't love you. I'm looking. I pulled down your underwear and I'm about to put new underwear on you. And you got your shriveled man nuts right there, a foot from my fucking head. I don't fucking love you, you bastard. Anyway, I put on new clothes for him. I put him in his chair. I get him his apple juice. I go downstairs to record a podcast. And I'm trying to. And I keep hearing yelling. And I fucking I'm not going upstairs. Finally, it's gotten so bad. I go upstairs and the cocksucker. So when I left, I put him in a chair, right? I put him in a chair. And I put him in a chair. I come upstairs and he's fallen out of the recliner. He has fallen out of the he's rolling around like a baby in a puddle of apple juice going, ah, ah, ah. And I go, what are you doing? And there's nips everywhere. He chugged 10 nips in under like 15 fucking minutes. And it's just everywhere. And I go, what the fuck is going on? And he just looks at me and he's and it was like a baby. It was like, I left you in a chair. Like, this is the sort of shit that only babies and, like, old people do. Where it's like, I gave you apple juice. I put you in a chair. I turned on your TV. I gave you the clicker. I put a blanket on you. And I come back. And you've fallen. You spilled. Everything's knocked over. Like, I don't know how. You could barely walk. And you knocked over everything. You fell in the middle of the fucking floor. And he just looks up at me and goes, Mike, I think I shit my fucking pants. And I go, you fucking better not have. You better not have, because I'm not changing your pants if you shit your pants, Dad. And I don't know why I think this is funny. No one else does. And and he goes, I think I'm doing it right now. And I go, no, you're not. No, you're not. And I'm looking at him right in the eyes. And I go, don't you fucking do it. And he goes, And his eyes light up. And I go, I think you fucking shitting. I really didn't. He somehow just thought he was. I don't know, man. Mike, is that how you're going to end the fucking show an hour in on that dog shit? Anyway, I did exactly what I didn't want to do, which is I talked about this. I'm going to release this at the exact same time as I release a regular podcast where I talk about fun stuff and shit going on in the world. Because I don't think you guys want to listen to a therapy session. But anyway, that's what's been going on with me. That's why I haven't been around. That's what I've been fucking dealing with. And that's what I've, dealing with all of this to get it to a point where it was more manageable. Without it, taking a burden and putting it on my shoulders till I couldn't anymore. That's what I did. That's why I wasn't in a creative place, and I'm fucking back. And, don't allow shame or despair to overtake you. Whatever you're going through, you can conquer it. You're not alone in your addictions. Your family is not alone in it. Your family might be fucked up, but the world's filled with fucked up families, man. And you don't fix it by hiding from it. You don't fix it by running from it. Because if I ran from it, if I hid from it, if I pretended it wasn't there, or if I lied about it, or I told the world everything's fine when it wasn't, I'll become the thing I don't want to become, which is my old man. And I'm grateful to him because, clearly I'm talking about bad things he did, and he did a lot of fucking bad things over the years. A lot. Like a lot. But, in Shakespeare's Julius Caesar, after Brutus and his co-conspirators killed Caesar, Brutus stood up to give a speech on why Caesar was trying to be a dictator, a despot and a king. And we do not want the kings of old. And, everyone in the crowd went, yeah. The crowd outside the Senate went, yeah, fuck Caesar. And then Mark Antony shows up, right in with his big dick swinging. And Mark Antony is an amazing orator. And he stands before the crowds outside the Senate in Rome, and he gives a hell of a speech and turns everyone. And one thing he said was, the evil that men do lives on after them. The good is often interred with their bones. And human beings are not all good, they're not all bad. And oftentimes we remember the bad things someone did to us so much more than the good things. It's a lot easier to remember the times my dad beat me. It's harder sometimes to remember the times when he just took me out for ice cream and loved me, And I learned from him the man I should be, because he gave me lessons on the man he wished he could have been. And he hoped that. And gave me that. So I learned from him on how to be a good man, even when he failed. Told me what a man is supposed to do for his family, even though he couldn't, or wouldn't, or didn't, or found himself falling flat. He gave me those lessons. This is what a man is supposed to do for his wife and his kids. And, did he live up to it? No. But he also had a hard fucking life. And so I can live up to those. But the most important thing he did for me is he fucking failed. I've learned so much more from my father's failures as a teacher than I did from his successes, from the things I don't want to be. And you'll learn just as much from watching someone else fail. And in a way, sometimes people ahead of you are going to fall on their sword or take the grenade so that you can survive if you're willing to do it, if you're willing to put in the work and not fail where they failed. I'm trying to think of how to fucking wrap this up, and I'm pulling at straws here, and I'm just going to fucking end it. Once again, if you're going through some shit, it will pass. If you're going through some shit, you're not alone. And for the love of fucking God and all that is holy, reach out. Reach out to people. Do the work ahead of time so that when these bad times happen, you don't completely lose everything and mentally disintegrate. It's okay to be depressed. It's okay to feel bad about yourself. It's okay to sometimes we feel like failures. Sometimes we hurt inside. Sometimes we fucking cry till our eyes can't cry anymore, and we cry some more. And it's okay. It's okay to cry as a fucking man. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be anxious. We're all dealing with anxiety. Our society cultivates anxiety. It's not just you. It is on you to fix it, though. There is no Superman. This isn't a Greek play. The God's hand is not here. There is no Deus Ex Machina to reach down and pick you up and save everything. It's on you, motherfucker. And you can fucking do it. Thank you for listening. Stay motivated, motherfuckers. I will be back. I'm happy to be here. Comedy's fucking slowly coming back. The weather's nice. There's more women on dating apps now than there's ever been. So, if you've been inside all year and you're like, I need to get laid, go fucking get laid. Go find a girlfriend. Go find a boyfriend. Go get your lovin', man. Peace be upon you, motherfuckers. Take care. And I will be back. And future episodes will not be so morose.